What is up, guys? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys another Weiss Schwarz deck profile. As I mentioned in my No Game No Life video, I was going to showcase an update on my Konosuba deck. This deck went through major changes after playtesting for about 2 months with this deck non-stop. So, this deck is different because I switched my thinking up. The other build was running the 1-0 Aqua Climax combo, and it was mainly a Goddess focus deck with a splash of magic. But I switched it up and decided to try running the Union Climax combo as my one step, with the 3-2 Megumin from set 1 being my finisher, one of my finishers in the deck. So it's actually a deck that has a healthy balance of Goddess and magic trait characters. But this deck is actually quite different from the previous one, so I'll explain some of the changes that I made. But overall, I really like this deck. It's probably where I'm going to keep it at for now. And I took some cues from the Japanese metagame in order to build this deck, so you might see it to be very different than most Konosuba lists that you've seen so far, in English, that is. Starting off with the 0 step, I still play 4 copies of Significance of Killing Snow Sprites Aqua. The reason why I'm doing this is because this allows me to have access to all the Goddess parts in this deck. And since I still use the Goddess engine for some level of consistency, and I'm still playing the 3-2 Eris because it's in my opinion the best early play aggro cards in the set. So I need this as a 4-up since it's an early play condition for the Eris. I'm also playing 4 copies of Snipe Kazuma. In my previous build, I was playing 4 copies of Swimsuit Megumin, but I took that out. And the reason why was the problem with the issue with that Swimsuit Megumin was, yeah, you could potentially keep it and have it survive if you mill a level 2 or higher character. Not even character, just a level 2 or higher card. But the problem was it could be easily punished with stock reversers, clock swap reversers, or even memory kickers. So I needed something that was able to trade nicely at the 0 step while still being a beat stick. So I chose to run 4 Snipe Kazuma. This idea came from the OCG, mainly not OCG, the Japanese metagame. I keep on using the OCG because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I got this idea off of the Japanese metagame, and actually this card is really busted because it has 2 on-reverse abilities. The first one is, when it gets reversed, you may select a card from your opponent's clock, send it to the waiting room, and your opponent swaps it with the top card of their deck to clock. So this is a Snipe clock swap, hence why it's called Snipe Kazuma. It is also a stock reverser. So it snipes both the board and your opponent's clock. And the reason why the sniping of your opponent's clock is important is because sometimes if you can predict, or if you pay attention to your opponent's setup, if their level 1 is devoted to a specific color, and they only have that specific color, one card of that specific color in their clock. Let's say their level 1 is a blue step, and they only have 1 level blue at the 0 step, and they're close to being at level 1. You could attack first with the Kazuma, swinging for 1, and getting this reverse, slamming into it, and then you can snipe out the blue card from their clock, and they have to replace it. And the kicker here is that they have to hope that they clock swap into another blue to essentially fail my strategy. If not, this could potentially hit a climax, and that's another benefit this card does, is it allows you to bait the climax in the form of a clock swap. And since it's not real damage, it actually puts your opponent in a salty position. And you can also, it also helps you push for damage at the 0 step. So once you deny them of that color, they're forced to kind of clock that color from use a card from their hand as clock to fulfill the color requirement, which makes plussing a little bit more awkward for them. So that's one of the reasons why I play the Snipe Kazuma. Next we play 4 copies of the Ambush Union, which has the on-play ability. You may pay 1, put the top card of your deck to clock, and search your deck for a copy of the 3-2 Megumin. And then it has another ability where you pay 1, tap itself, reveal the copy of the 3-2 Megumin in your hand, and you can look up to the top 4 cards of your deck and add 1 adventurer or magic trait character from among them and send the rest to waiting room. This replaces the Brainstormer in the deck, and it's your main consistency card for the level 0 game, next to the 0-0 Aqua. And this card is actually really busted, and I recommend you playing it if you have these 2 in your collection, even if you're not running the Megumin finisher. It's just that good for consistency purposes. Next, I play 2 copies of Board Game Megumin. My reasoning is this card is not as good as it used to be, because it's easy to punish this run ability by just full boarding zeros that can run over it. So mainly the usage of this card gets reduced, since it's only a 1k beat stick, to just a discard climax salvage, which is okay. But it's still a good card. In Japan, they cut this card completely, or they run 1 or 2 of this card. But this card is still kind of good. If we had more better red magic beat sticks at the 0 step, then I could probably see myself cutting it. Then I play 2 copies of Soul Salvation Aqua. It's your generic top checker and add / and hand filter. Sorry, I'm already brain farting on here. So basically, if you already know the ability, on play, look at the top card of your deck. If it's Adventurer or Goddess or Axis Cult, add it to your hand, discard a card. And it's also a pay 2 deck refresh, which is really needed, because if you're behind in Climax, it allows you to get back into the game. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of the 0-0 Kazuma. I need this. I play this over the Drop Searcher because this allows you to dig for climaxes, and it's basically the same cost. Pay 1, discard 1, but you get to look up to the top 3. This allows you to dig for your climaxes when you need it. For the 1 step, we play 4 copies of the 1-0 Bunny Girl Union from set 2. This climax combos with the Light of Saber climax, and it has the ability, when this character reverses an opponent's character by battle, you may put the top card of your deck to stock and then reveal the next card. If it's level 1 or higher, add it to your hand. This card is actually really good because it allows you to stock gen, and even if you don't hit the level 1 or higher, the fact that you are plussing 1 additional stock on the reverse is really good, because you get to compress your deck with this card. So it serves 2 functions. One is to hand build and deck filter and stock build, which is really nice. And it also has another ability. If you have a full magic board, this card gets plus 2k. So that's kind of the crux of this card. You have to play basically a full magic field, including your backfield, just to get full usage of this card. But it's still a really good card, nevertheless. Then I play 3 copies of Nice Explosion Megumin. This card is a really good beat stick at the 1 step because it's a level reverser with hand encore. So it's really busted. It makes it harder for your opponent to win trades that easily. And then if it's a climax combo trade, they're gonna 1-for-1 at most. And you get to just resurrect this character and just put pressure on the board. And it's just a really good card at the 1 step. In Japan, they play a different climax combo, another level 1 climax combo that combos with the real explosion magic. What it does is you get to blind stop, put the top card of your deck to stock, and salvage the 3-2 Megumin from your waiting room. So that's kind of good because it allows you to in Japan, that build is good because you have 2 forms of stock building, and the fact that you can resurrect your just build your hand up for your 3 step. But since we don't have that, I needed another level 1 that can plus me, or at least deck filter and hand fix, because that's one of the issues with the Magic set, is that you still kind of, with all decks, is that you need a healthy form of hand filtering. So I decided to play this. which is 2 copies of the Sacred Crate Water Aqua, which is basically your level 1 Rize. This allows you to, because you're not going to always be able to slam the Union Climax combo consistently every turn, so you need to have some form of just deck filtering and not have to waste your your level 1 Megumin, Unions all the time. So sometimes I just board the Reversers and the Sacred Crate Water and just slam into my opponent's board, and then just have the Aqua Rize replace itself, since it allows them to deck in and hand fix, which is really nice. So if you don't have that, since we don't have the that level 1 Megumin promo that Japan has, I recommend you play that people play this if they're going to go for the similar route that I am going for. And then the last level 1, we play One Shaken Megumin, which is the anti-early play backup. You basically just discard this and 2 other cards from hand, and you get to send a character whose level is higher than your opponent's current level. So this is really good against standby decks as well, because you get to get rid of their standby targets. So that's one plus off of this, being since it's a level 1. Most anti-changes are level 2. And then for the 2-step, we play 3 cards. One being Call for Teacher Megumin. This is your anti-level 3 attacker. What it does is, when it faces a level 3 or higher character, this card gains plus 6k, so it's a 13k beat stick. And when it reverses a level 2 or higher character, you get to pay 1, salvage a character. So this allows you to have some utility while being a beat stick that can counter early plays. And then lastly, for the level 2, we play 2 copies of Seizure of Private Property. We already know what it does. You basically pair it with the 3/2 Aqua from set 1 and decompress your opponent's deck. Speaking of level 3, I play 1 copy of the 3/2 Aqua. The reason why we only play 1 compared to the previous build is, since we're only using it for the decompression combo and we're not using the climax combo, it only warrants 1 copy, since you can dig it. You have many ways to dig for this card, so you don't need to have 2 copies all the time. And you're not going to always need to do the decompression combo. Sometimes it's just good to do the stock troll if your opponent is near a refresh point, so you can just hit them, just force the refresh, and they refresh awkwardly, and then after the refresh, they have to put back cards to their cards back into their stock. And then continuing on with the 3-step, we play 2 copies of Part of Explosion Megumin. I mainly use this for the free play, because I need to conserve stock. I seldomly use the pay 3, discard 2, burn 5, since we're kind of tight. We're trying to budget our stock, since we don't have that 1/0 Megumin promo. So this just allows me to conserve stock. And then I play 2 copies of the 3/2 Megumin from set 1. I actually have 3 on hand, but I'm only playing 2 since we're kind of tight on space. Later on, I might try fit in a 3rd copy if I can find the space. What this card does is, when it comes into play, you get to look up to the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card, and send the rest to waiting room. And when this climax is in play at the start of your attack phase, you may pay 1, tap this card, inflict 4 damage, and clock kick the character facing in front of this that's level 3 or higher. This card is really good because it allows you to break walls, and specifically the most popular one being either the Orisa minus Soul wall from Bang Dream, or the Sakura Siege wall that is the most popular 3-step for Card Captor Sakura clear card. So this allows you to out that board, because before they can even use their minus soul, you get turn player priority, so you get to kick 2 of the, if they full boarded their 3/2 minus soul lanes, you get to kick 2 of them, and so they can only minus soul in the center lane depending on where you place it. And if you have the Eris, they're only going to at most minus 2 soul, and you can swing for 1 on climax combo, which is still nice, and restand, which is still nutty. I cut down the copies of Mesmerizing Water Goddess Aqua. Sorry for the noise. I cut it down from 4 to 3 because we're tight in space, and I still see it enough to where I can sustain at the 2-step. But I'm kind of tempted to put this back up to 4 just so I can see it more often, because I do like to sustain myself at level 2, because this is one of the deck's strengths is that your level 2 game lasts much longer, and the longer you can stay at level 2 and the quicker you push your opponent to level 3, the easier it is for you to transition to level 3, and the harder it is for your opponent to kill you, because they're going to be at a situation where you can kill them faster than they can kill you. And then lastly, for level 3s, I play 4 copies of the Blessed with Kind Encounters Eris. I prefer this over the Detonative Day Megumi that most people play when they play this this setup, is because Eris, you get more advantage out of the Eris than compared to the Detonative Day Megumi. And my argument is because Megumi does guarantee to pay itself even if you hit only one adventure or magic trait character, because when you hit one you get to blind stock, send the top card of deck to stock. But the other effects are so lackluster that even if you mill all 3, the plus from it doesn't feel as substantial as this card, as the Eris, because after you fulfill all 3 effects, it's just a 9/5 beat stick that doesn't do anything else, and it requires you to hit a adventure or magic trait from the mill 3, and there are some occasions where you are gonna whiff all 3, whether you mill climaxes or you mill events and a climax, and if that happens, you feel really bad because you just paid 2 and you minus hard. At least with the Eris, the only way you can minus with the Eris is if they early play backup this card, and the best way to avoid that is just do not play this that often, or just play one, salvage another copy, and just swing in. Like, even if they get rid of this card, you have another one waiting for them, and they have to still deal with that card. And the fact is, like, this card pushes for damage more often because you can still do the restand after you play it. The following turn, the restand doesn't go away. So, and that's the scary part, is your opponent is forced to anti-early play back up this card because they don't want to get punted to 3 when I get the restand off, and that's always a fear when you see this card. And another thing is it pays for itself by just salvaging another character, another goddess or adventurer character. So it allows you to dig for your missing pieces. So let's say if I have another Eris, I could dig for the 3/2 Aqua, I could dig for the 3/2 Megumin, or I can dig for the powered up Explosion Megumin. I can dig for any piece in this deck. So that's why this card is such a good card compared to the Detonative Day Megumin. So I hope you guys like this deck profile. This is pretty much my current version of Konosuba for now. The next deck you're going to be seeing is not going to be my Bunny Girl Senpai one. I'm going to be postponing that. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the Climax makeup. It's kind of staple 4 Stock Soul, 4 Gate. I keep on forgetting about that. But the next deck profile that I'll be showing you guys is going to be my Bang Dream deck, specifically a yellow-blue build post multi-live. It's a set that I enjoy playing, and it has an interesting story, but I'll probably talk about that quickly when I do the deck profile of that. Hope you guys like this deck profile. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and stay on point, guys. Peace out.